What's up, Fantasy A-Team Nation? I'm your host, Josh Jenkins, and today's video, we are going to reveal our Week 8 top running back matchups. But before I start the show, I'd like to welcome my co-host, Zach Roberts, back to the show. Welcome back, Zach.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, Josh. A-Team Fantasy Nation, what's going on, people? Good to have you guys back. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the love, subscribes, likes, shares. Before we get to this Week 8 top running back matchups, man, I'd like to throw Aaron Jones, who had a great game yesterday. Whether it's this week or any week, guy like that, you drafted him in a high position, you start him, man, unless he's on bye week or injury. Also, Kamara and Henry, man, all those guys are just straight up off the top, start them. There's probably a few that should be added to the top of this list, but until they perform for several more weeks, we won't put them up there. But let's start off with the first one. Who do you got?
The first one, I'm going to go with, I believe I'm going to go with James Robinson. Last week, he had a bye, which was week 7. They're going to take on the Seattle Seahawks. It's ranked 30th against the run this week.
Yeah, and I absolutely love this matchup. So he was one of the top ones I have also. Before the bye week, he had 17 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Now that they've had the bye week, just that much more to be installed in the offense. They're going to try to build off that one win that they had, Jacksonville. And if you watch that game, Robinson had a was steadily being fed the ball. And they did again the last time they had him out. So I think they're just going to keep up with that as part of their chemistry of their win, I should say. I love this matchup. I think James Robinson, he showed last year as a rookie, undrafted, he was a stud. Still this year, he's been putting up great numbers every week when he gets the ball. So I'd love this matchup, and I would start him if I had.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it wouldn't be impossible for Jacksonville to pick up their second win this week.
It's very possible. And I'd look for Robinson to probably have 125 yards and a touchdown. So,
yeah, I agree with that as well.
So next, you want to go with Chuba Hubbard, maybe?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I know you got a couple other guys too that are big-time names, but I'm trying to give them somebody that's off the waiver wire also. So
yeah,
Chuba Hubbard's off the waiver wire, so you could go pick him up. He's also great matchup this week, 25th ranked Atlanta. So we love or like this matchup. He didn't get the touchdown the last time he was out, but they were steadily feeding him the ball, passing in, and handing off. So I think he's a dual threat. So he's definitely worth a mention and someone that you could possibly start this week and get some great numbers out of. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. His numbers weren't great last week, and the majority of that was because Carolina looked like crap against New York Giants. They just got beat on all phases of the game. But I don't expect that this week against Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, he still had the 16 touches, which is up there with what McCaffrey's production would be. So he's seen in weeks before where he's had some breakout weeks. So I still love this matchup or like this matchup. We've got several other good big names on here. I'll go ahead and let you throw one of them out there. Who do you want to throw out first?
I guess the first one I'm going to throw out would be Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Last week, he had 12 rushes, 59 yards, and a touchdown. They're taking on the New York Jets, ranked 32nd against the run. So I expect a big game out of Mixon.
Yeah, I agree with you. We really love this matchup, people. Him and I were talking about this because of Jamar Chase and Mixon and how potent the offense has started to get there. And Cincy, Mixon's a big part of that. With how great he's a runner, and he catches the ball as well pretty well. That one play they had a couple of weeks ago where they threw it to Mixon in the backfield on a swing pass, and Jamar Chase freaking ran out in front of him, had this huge block, and he had like a 50 or 60 yard score. And if you've seen, man, when guys do that for each other, Jamar Chase is a rookie wideout. How often do you ever see a guy work that hard to get a guy a breakout block like that? So it just shows how much they all believe in each other there. And that's kind of how it was when the Chiefs were at their prime. Everyone was on the same page. Everyone was, kind of there for try to help pick each other up and push each other, propel each other to the, their highest peak. And when that's happening on an offense, people, like what's happening right now in Cincinnati, nothing but good things going to happen for everybody. So I agree with what you're saying. I think Mixon has a huge game this week, 32nd ranked versus the run. They're going to lean on him anyways because that's how their offense is really kind of starting to run, is off the play action. So look for Mixon to have a lot of carries this week. They're going to build off the play action off of his success on the run. I bet you he runs for over 125 yards this week. I bet you he has a big week. Probably catches a couple passes for 20, 30 yards too. I bet you gets at least a touchdown, if not two. So we love this matchup and start him if you got him. Pretty much start anybody on Cincy, man, for real. I mean, they're high potent right now, and you want to ride the wave while you can. People get your fantasy points.
Yeah, I agree. Especially that they're playing the Jets. Probably the worst team in the league. So,
yeah.
All right, next, I'm going to throw out Daryl Henderson for the LA Rams. Last week, he had 15 rushes for 45 yards, 3 receptions for 19 yards. This week, they face the Houston Texans, ranked 20th against the run.
Yeah, we love this matchup. Henderson's a dual threat, and it seems like McVay is really starting to love to use him. And with that being said, he's got a lot of upside. He gets the ball, carries a lot, and he gets the pass. So I look for them to light Houston up. I mean, McVay don't take his foot off the accelerator. So with that said, man, I look for Henderson could easily go for 125 all-purpose yards, between catching and passes, and probably a touchdown or two. There's so many people, though, once they get in the red zone that they can throw to: Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, Woods. So there's so many different options there. But Henderson still is a solid play this week, and we love this matchup.
Yes, we do. Do you have
now,
anybody?
Let me throw out one, because I know you want to put up Najee Harris too. But before we get to him, I want to put up Deandre Swift. He's playing Philly, who's ranked 30th versus the run. We really love this matchup. Swift had 13 carries for only 46 yards, but 8 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. So that's like almost 150 all-purpose yards. That's right up there with McCaffrey when he's having his great game. So Deandre Swift, even on a losing effort and a losing team, man, he's still a solid play. They lean on him a lot. I know he's questionable, but he's been questionable for a couple of weeks and still plays and puts up solid numbers. So I love this matchup versus Philly. I believe they're going to lean on Swift to get a lot of the touches and carries. And he's gotten a few red zone touches too. So I look for him to get the ball down there too.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Philly. They got a lot of run. Got a lot of options, a lot of weapons. So to try to stop that run. But you got, Detroit with Swift. He did have a good game the other day. So it is possible that he could do it again this week.
Yeah. And then you were talking about Philly. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell, he should be on here. He has a good matchup. Detroit's got a weak run defense, so we like that matchup too. For those of you guys that have him and wondering if you should start him, you could start Kenneth Gainwell this week too. He's got a great matchup since we're talking about Philly and Detroit matchup. I know you want to put Najee Harris on here. Go ahead. What's your
comment? One other thing on the Philly matchup we was talking about. I know that I got word that they put Miles Sanders on the IR, so he'll be sitting for the next 3 weeks. So I guess it's Kenneth Gainwell's ball now. But I also heard they was bringing in Jordan Howard.
That's okay. So I had told you that the other day too. We were talking, I remember. So yeah, I know that they're bringing him in, but right now this week, Gainwell's already knows all of he's been installed as number 2 guy for a while. Now that he's down, he's going to get the most percentage snaps of what's going to be available this week. Then after that, we'll have to see, how they use him and what happens during practices and whatnot. But you'll have a 3-headed monster there with Scott, Gainwell, and then if they bring Howard back. Now Howard, he's going to be rusty, but he's showed times when he played for Miami, and even when he first went to Philly, where he had breakout games and stuff. So he easily could be a viable option for people looking for someone to plug in later. He may end up making the waiver wire video. We'll see. So with that said, why don't you go ahead and give me Najee Harris's numbers? He's playing Cleveland. They're the 4th ranked defense, but we still like this matchup because this rookie's on fire.
Yeah, well, last week was his bye week, so I don't have no stats for last week's game.
Okay, but before that, I'm pretty sure the week, and I don't have the stats either, people, but just from memory, I'm pretty sure the week before this bye week, he had a huge game, wasn't it? And he had caught the ball several times too. So that's why we wanted to make sure we put him on here. That's why I mentioned it. Was both he and I talk about this rookie. He's a super stud. So he's one of the, I think he's going to be kind of the, whereas Roethlisberger was kind of the offense before, with way the struggles and the stuff that he's having with his older, age and body and stuff, he's starting to break down. They're going to have to lean on Najee Harris, and he's already proven that as a rookie, even he's a solid play. So for us fantasy people that have him, dude, play him this week. This kid's a stud. They're going to continue to lean on him and run him a lot, throw to him. I only see he has a high ceiling, and he already showed he has a pretty high floor. So with that said, man, we like/love this matchup. Play him, even though it's Cleveland versus their 4th versus the run. Play him anyways this week.
Yeah, week 6, he had 24 rushes for 81 yards on the ground, and then he had 6 receptions for 46 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
so he had a big game.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
Folks, that wraps up week 8 top running back matchups. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button. Have any questions, comments, drop them down below, or hit us up on our Twitter page at FantasyAteam1. And remember, friends, don't let friends auto draft.